We good.
Welcome to the Out of the Draft Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. We are back here. I'm so glad we're back. It's been almost a year because we didn't even
Yeah.
finish like 5 races in 2022. But we actually got a new person on our panel. I'm going to introduce him. It's Damon. There you go. We can start talking.
What's up, guys? Good to be here. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to talk NASCAR with you guys for the next season. Hopefully, it's entertaining. We got a lot to talk about.
Awesome. Yeah, same. I'm excited. Of course, we got Mitch and Dylan. I almost said
Yeah.
SD. That was so weird.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, Thomas was not with us, but he is still on our panel as well. But we just wanted someone full time, especially moving forward. More people, the better. I think it's going to be great. So, what should we start off with? Mitch, you can
Start off with I think we should start off with the
Reflect with the
championship.
2022 championship. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect thing to start off with. Sorry, I just gotta make sure everything is going. Y'all can start talking. Y'all don't have to wait on me.
Yeah, so 2022 championship. As we all know, we're a little bit late as covering the recap of it. Logano obviously came up with the championship. The race itself, he pretty much dominated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oops, sorry.
No, go.
Yeah, it was pretty much just him. I feel like he dominated. Obviously, I feel like one of the big things that happened was Chase Elliott getting spun out by, I think, Ross Chastain on a restart, which kind of damaged his hopes for the championship.
Yeah, that was interesting too. It was a very controversial thing. I mean, realistically, it was just a racing incident. They were kind of both there at the same time, but a lot of people were like, "Oh man, screws one car."
Me as a Chase fan, I feel like I knew it was a racing incident, but
Right.
it's Ross Chastain though. Like
yeah. I'm sure.
He's just been running into everybody. He doesn't really know his boundaries in a sense of the race car, but that incident was definitely a racing deal. I mean, Chase just didn't get going as well, and he got there. I mean, he was there,
Right.
obviously, or he wouldn't have spun out. But I think if it's anyone else in that championship four, though, they would have let off a little bit and gave him the spot.
Possibly. Yeah.
But Ross, he grew up with nothing, so when he has a chance to win something, he's not gonna let off. So.
He's gonna take it, right? And he's proven that time and time again. The last 3 or 4 seasons, including the last couple of Xfinity seasons, he was running with Colleague as well. I mean, we saw him wreck AJ at the Daytona, one of the Xfinity races, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his own teammate. So, yeah, Ross Chastain is obviously willing to do anything, but aside from that, I mean, I don't really remember too much else about the specific race itself. But who are the other drivers
I feel like also,
in the Final Four?
It was just Christopher Bell.
Chase Logano.
Yeah, and then Ross. Yeah. I think Christopher Bell was fast. Honestly, at one point, I thought he was the best car. When it came to the overall speed of the run, but he just doesn't have the mentality yet of a champion per se, in a sense of. There we go. In a sense of like of putting a whole race together. I mean, he finally just blew up in a sense of winning multiple races. So I think it's just he'll get there, right? Like he will. It's just it wasn't his time. I just knew it wasn't.
No, yeah, I agree. And I think was a good learning experience for him as well to have that Final Four pressure, to be able to see what that's like fairly early into his career,
The last pit stop screwed him too, though. So
yeah,
I feel like also for the Chase and Ross incident, you got to think back at Gateway when Ross was basically getting into everybody. You always hear NASCAR drivers don't never forget. You could also say they're actually I got it flipped backwards, but they're not going to give each other any room. Also, they're probably not happy with each other. They always remember. Everybody remembers.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, throughout history that they always remember. They just wait on the specific time that they want to choose to act upon remembering.
That's fact. Yeah.
First, I want to shout out to our chat. We got 6 people watching live, so that's amazing. Taco, what's up, dude? Cody, he's in the chat
Taco,
as well.
Cody, hell yeah.
He said Steelers with a question mark, so he's giving you a shout out there. But what's up, Taco? Other than that, I didn't really. Ryan Blaney, in my opinion, I thought was the overall favorite of the race.
I agree, and he had the best car, I think, at the end as well.
Yeah, he was running down as a teammate. I thought this was going to be the first year that because
we were going to have a
non-championship
winner, right? I agree. I thought it was going to be his first year that we saw that too, but Logano just killed it.
Honestly, I think this year we actually may see that just because of it's still like the next gen car is still unknown. I mean, there's more to know, but I mean, year 2 with it, we'll get into that next topic here in a second. But
yeah,
it's just it's exciting. But
anything else you guys got to say about the race? Or just 2022
pretty
championship
boring.
in general?
Yeah, it was really boring, actually.
My driver didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty boring championship.
Last 7, so
Yeah.
no.
The last 7? Oh yeah, he didn't. Yeah, what a loser.
Oh my god. Also, to note, who won the truck and Xfinity title? The truck was Zane Smith. He's still in the truck series, so he's trying to go back to back. And the Xfinity title was to Ty Gibbs. It was him versus 3 junior motorsports cars, and he still beat it with a 20% chance.
Could have been 2 JGR, but he chose to wreck his teammate.
Yeah.
So.
And
hey,
but he will not. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can you imagine though if he didn't wreck him and then Jones went in there and won championship?
Yeah, I think that's what he was afraid of, honestly. Just because Jones is pretty decent at Phoenix. And,
he's decent.
I think he straight up outbeat Kyle Busch one year. So that just goes to show I like turtles. Oh my god, that was you. I was like, what? But yeah, it's just I think he was just nervous and he did what he did. But now he's not gonna go back to back. He's moving to the 54 and Cup, and we'll talk about that later. But I just think that's exciting to hear.
Yeah, so I guess now we can go ahead and start talking about the next gen. How do you guys think it performed overall as an entire group for the whole year? I scored it as a 7.5 out of 10. Obviously, we knew it needs improvement, and it has received multiple improvements. But what do y'all think?
I think it definitely is probably what they wanted. I think mile and a half racing was probably the best for it. I feel like short track racing wasn't that good. Like you can see how just Martinsville wasn't in it. Mostly go back to the spring one. It just there's no passing involved. And but I think it improved the racing on a mile and a half. But I think everywhere else it needs some improvement. I think on restrictor plates, if you're the last car in the draft, you don't have much time back there. You don't want to be the last car in the draft, which could lead to more exciting racing because you don't want to be the last car in the draft. But somebody's going to lose. Somebody's going to lose the draft. Now, also a big one, probably the biggest, is all the safety concerns. Right. That's basically why Kurt Busch retired, is because concussion at Pocono. And yeah, the safety, Alex Bowman getting a concussion later in the year. I think safety was a big part of it, and also just the car having difficulties, just simple difficulties I think they could fix, like the rocker panel going on fire, and multiple instances. Obviously, most known is probably Harvick at Darlington, but also I think Chris Buescher at the Indy Roval. Yeah. And tires are absolutely horrible last year at every track. Goodyear was not on it, and if you lost a tire, you could barely get the car back going. Without
especially early in the year before they made that first adjustment to it. It was bad. You were just straight stuck there. I don't know what I was going to say. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But
DCD, did you have any thoughts before I...
On with the car?
Yeah.
I mean, it was solid. I did what they wanted to do, get the small teams up with the big teams.
Which is very true. I mean, we did see a large variety of winners, but not only that, but just everybody the whole field was shaken up. I feel like the whole season, a lot of good people running in the back and a lot of bad people running a little bit more forward, It is interesting to see how it did provide that type of change and work in favor for that.
Yeah, that was the first year that the regular season championship had worse of an average finish than 11. Chase had 12.5 going into the playoffs.
Wow.
And that just goes to show like how much parity was in the field, because there was no real consistency. I mean, obviously the Nascar had the most consistency throughout the year.
Right.
But when it comes to, the finishes, it wasn't, you just did not know what happened at the end of the race.
Right.
You could be leading with 10 to go, and then all of a sudden something happens and you're literally 30th.
Right, especially looking back at the Texas race.
Yeah.
How many drivers did we see lead that race and then also get wrecked by tire?
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah,
that was 7. It was 7 people.
That was bad. That was bad.
And it was a lot of playoff contenders, right? Because they were the ones that was aggressive with the air pressure.
Yeah.
But which I think Goodyear learned a lot.
I agree.
I think we'll see a better tire on a lot of the tracks. Do I think it'll get fixed? No. I don't think you'll because teams are going to try every advantage possible to make the spoiler out of the wind, right? That was the whole point of putting the air pressure so low. But because there was no sidewall, that's why it just got cut, because it was over lap after lap after lap. It wouldn't be right away. It would be 30 laps in the run, but it hurt 2 laps in the run, right?
Right.
And so I think that's just moving forward. I don't see Goodyear. They have to make a rule, right, for the teams to say, hey, you can't go below this. And then, so they don't look bad, and they're not wasting a bunch of money. I think that's what they'll do. There isn't a rule yet, but eventually, just because of how much flexibility NASCAR is giving them with what they're testing with the spoiler right now at Phoenix and just at Martinsville. They went to Martinsville, I think. But I know they went to Phoenix.
I think so, yeah. Phoenix for sure, yeah. But
and they tested a really low spoiler to kind of help the.
Why did it look like that?
Yeah, it looked.
Why did it?
Even the Matrix.
Why did it look like that? Oh God.
But that's just with the help of honestly, all the drivers just want to take the spoiler off, and then you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
I personally, I still think a spoiler should be on there. I just don't know. It looks really bad with a spoiler. Have you ever seen a race car with that one? It's ugly as hell.
Yeah.
But
it does look really weird.
But as long as they just move the horsepower upwards, that's gonna make the whole remove the spoiler thing.
What if they just extended the rear end 6 inches?
Yeah.
Like a truck. Like made the deck lid just 3 to 4 more inches wider. Well, not wider, but I guess longer. Front to back.
They would. There's so much underbody that they would have to fix for that. NASCAR would literally crap themselves for that, if I'm being honest, because the teams would literally say, "I'm done with this. Here you go." That's what would happen. That's what I would do, because you're adjusting so much that it's not even going to be a race car at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I also have one other thing on the season.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a tale of 2 seasons for 2 different drivers. I think without a doubt in the regular season, Chase Elliott was the best driver. Mostly later in the regular season, he racked off wins that a win at Nashville, and then the playoffs, he kind of obviously he wrecked in the playoff opener at Darlington, but also Joey Logano, and it was really Joey Logano and Christopher Bell, I felt like, in the playoffs. But then Chase Elliott was just, I feel like, mid-teens most of the time. I really wonder what his average finish was in the playoffs compared to the regular season, because it's got to be drastic. because he didn't show up in the playoffs. So that's if the season ended in the regular season, would without a doubt been Chase Elliott. But the playoffs is he just didn't show it where it needed.
And I will say after that, like there was a lot of races where he was leading and then something stupid happened in the playoffs. For instance, Texas, like he was the fastest car, but of course when you had the fastest car in Texas, you blew a tire. But
yeah.
And then I think of the Charlotte Roval, where the sign was on the ground and they blew a caution, and then you had a bunch of drivers trying to get the win. I mean, that's just obvious. So they were making decisions that was with their front end versus actually driving the vehicle. And so I think, and then of course he spun himself out because he was so aggressive afterwards. And there's just a lot of things that led up to his. I mean, honestly, when Ross Chastain pulled his move, I thought the chase was out, just because when he crossed the line, it went from negative up, like it was going back and forth, until he actually crossed the line. It was crazy. I was like, all right, this is over with. But I had no faith in the Phoenix race, though. That's why I wasn't even that mad when he wrecked. But
well, Phoenix is mostly also a track position race, and Logano just never lost it. He was up there the race, like top 3.
Especially since the remodel, I think.
Oh my god. So is Bubba Wallace going to take it all the way, or what? I mean, he could, 23-11. I'm just kidding. No, he's definitely not winning the championship this year.
I wouldn't say never. How Michael McDowell can win it. Come on now.
There ain't no fucking way.
Now, I will say that he make a playoff run. We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, come next week and you'll find out where Bubba Wallace will stand in our predictions. But with the next gen, obviously it was, in my opinion, it was a great race car. To a point, I think it's going to improve. I think it will improve. But the worst thing about this race car was the safety. With that being said, back at Pocono, during qualifying, the 45 car of Kurt Busch backed into a wall because the back end was so weak. It caused him a concussion, which now has led him to who he decided to retire. He did not finish the rest of the season. Ty Gibbs filled in every race after that, I think, right? He did.
For the most part.
Him and John Hunter.
I think John Hunter
for
a couple,
Yeah. When Xfinity was like out of state, that's when. But yeah, Kurt Busch has decided to retire. He has turned into a quote-unquote driving coach. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think he did say, though, that if he is cleared, he would like to run like a handful of races.
Yeah. And I think with them opening up the 67 car, I think that gives him some availability
opportunity for that. Right.
Yeah. Which, how about the big
good for him
for this season? I'm about to pick Bubba over Kevin all day. Sorry, I'm reading the chat here. Like, I don't. How about Taco? What do you mean by that? How about the biggest upset for this season? Like, are you asking what is the biggest upset going to be for this season or last season? Sorry, y'all can talk about Kurt Busch if you like. I kind of said what I wanted.
Well, I think we could just move straight into the news part of it in general, which includes Kurt Busch. But Kurt obviously, had the injury, got retired because of it. Hopefully he's able to come back. Yeah, he got retired, yeah. He was forced to retire. I would say he's forced to retire. He probably didn't want to retire,
Yeah, no, not like that.
Right. So, I mean, he's forced to retire, but don't know what's going into that with you bitches.
So we're going into the news, correct?
Yeah, we're going.
Well, yeah,
but so Taco wants to know from you guys what is going to be the biggest upset for this season in 2023.
I got a lot of notes here.
Corey LaJoy at a super speedway.
I can see
That's an
that.
upset.
I can see that.
Oh, yeah. I do have Corey LaJoy winning one race, but
Joey Logano has a big fall off.
sheesh. Well, I mean,
I honestly think I'm still gonna call it Richard Petty Motorsports, and their team's gonna. I don't think Noah Gragson's gonna have the best year, but I think Eric Jones is gonna win a couple races. I think he's really gonna improve.
I think Noah Gragson points his way into the playoffs.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, Andrew Moore. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the one talking to chat about Bubba. He said, I pick up Bubba over Kevin all day. He said, Mitchell can't reach that. My bad, I was just talking crap. No, it's funny. I was laughing at it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I'm reading it now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Noah is a sleeper for the 500.
What?
Noah is a sleeper for the 500.
Oh, I think he's a sleeper for a lot of things, actually.
Who, Bubba?
No.
No.
Oh, no. Who? I missed who?
No, Gregson.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Bubba won't run a race.
I don't have him winning a race.
Nah.
But I would like him to.
Yeah.
But
I think he's going to be the 2016 Chase Elliott, in a sense of, like, he's going to be leading, and then a caution comes out.
Yeah. Young Chase Elliott, basically.
Yeah.
Some more news.
I don't think it'll be like a lot of races, but it'll just be like one or two.
Right. Some more news though. We got Tyler Reddick going to 2311, of course. Kyle to RCR. What do you guys think about those?
Nice little swap there. I really got a question for all you that I want to know from you guys is who you guys think is gonna elevate the team more? Because there's just is Tyler Reddick gonna elevate 2311 more, or is Kyle Busch gonna elevate RCR more?
That's a good question.
I think it's obvious.
I like that.
It's pretty obvious.
And I think Kyle Busch elevates RCR more. I think it's going to put RCR back on a little bit more of a level of when Kevin Harvick was there, a little bit more of an A-list driver. I'm not saying that Reddick isn't bad. It's just he's inexperienced. Kyle has so much more to bring.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Reddick is actually going to struggle at the beginning of the season.
I agree.
Just because
I disagree.
I have him also only pointing his way into the playoffs.
I don't have that.
He's winning at least two.
Yeah, I haven't won in a couple of races, but I think it doesn't start happening until after the 600. I think the first couple races, it's just going to be
a learning curve,
just because of the way. I mean, he's been so used to driving a car that's underfunded, right? Like, it's not as competitive.
Right.
And so I think that he's going to overdrive it a lot, and I think he's going to get into a wall like he did at Junior Motorsports.
I agree with that.
I feel like wherever Tyler Reddick went in Xfinity, he won a championship with two different teams.
Yeah.
And then
for sure. He's very talented,
Now thinking about it a little bit more, I do agree with you, Dylan, on that Tyler Reddick will struggle to start.
Yeah.
Because there's two young drivers. He's got nobody really lean off of.
Yeah.
It's him and...
But, he can lean off of Kurt, though. So that does help a little bit. But,
that is very
having Kyle physically in the car versus just, asking Kurt something, I think that's a big step further as well. What do you think about it, DCD? Or Dylan, stat boy? Sheesh.
I'll take Kyle at RCR all day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting my teams and drives a little messed up right now. I keep thinking other people are on other teams that they're not, or used to be on.
Right. So
Andrew Moore said Kyle all day. FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
What are they?
You want to?
So next,
go ahead and start off with the JGR stuff.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. So JGR. So they're getting rid of that 18, and Ty Gibbs is moving in 54. Really, I think it's kind of for that. I'm guessing they're retiring somewhat quote unquote retiring the 18 for what Kyle Busch has done for him, and Ty Gibbs moving right into the 54. All the success he's had, in the 54 in Xfinity, going right to Cup. That's pretty cool. And that's what I got on that. What do you guys think about that?
Mitch, you got it.
I mean, I agree with everything you just said. It's an interesting swap. I think it's really weird, and then also with the recent news that Interstate is going to be sponsoring all 4 cars this season. In my head, I'm like, man, y'all doing that, but y'all couldn't just like help Kyle out a little bit.
Yeah, because they're doing 20 total races. You would think that instead of like
That's
this
what
deal
I'm
just
saying.
I'm guessing just got
That's
done.
what I'm saying.
They just heard of it.
Right.
They could have done 20 races just for Kyle to have
For Kyle,
on the car. Instead,
bro,
you let Kyle go.
That's why I think it's even more of a little snake move to Kyle to just pull his grandson in. Because I mean, obviously he's talented, but he's got that pull of the grandson.
Taco just said that she's going to be like a F1 team. That's good. Yeah. I swear, honestly.
It's interesting though. I don't know. How do you feel about Gibbs versus Noah?
Gibbs versus.
I think Ty Gibbs wins the Rookie of the Year.
Really? I have it the other way around.
Just because I mean you're in Joe Gibbs equipment.
Equipment wise.
And I agree with that, but I think Gibbs is going to get himself in a lot of compromising positions, and it's going to cost him points ultimately. Versus Noah will not, and he's going to capitalize on points.
I do think
that's
that they're going to be
because Noah can do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
see, and then with this new car as well. I mean, that's.
I think in a sense, they're going to be like 21st and 20th in points all year.
I agree, ish. I think max we would see them like 17, 18.
That's right around what I think Ty Gibbs would be. I think because we're gonna get winners. I've got different winners that are probably be like above the cut line and
right,
or like right at the cut line. So he's gonna move up a little bit closer. I think. So I can see right around 18. Ty Gibbs racing for a playoff spot, and I think if he has a chance at Daytona, it's gonna be scary for the field. We know how aggressive he is. Obviously,
he made
it out of the way at Martinsville. Just for greed, really, just for him to get another win. He didn't need it.
I agree. I think he's young, and I mean, obviously he is young, but I think it's already putting him in a lot of compromising positions like that, like moving your teammate out of the way for the win. I agree. If we see him at the front of the super speedway, we're going to see some crazy type block, and maybe even like a Tony Stewart style Dega wreck in 2011, I believe, 11, 12, whatever that one is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could see that style of wreck because of that type of block coming from him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's gonna be so much to deal with him. I mean, I like Ty Gibbs. I'm not afraid to say it, but
my mom likes him too.
I hate him.
There's just so much that he just doesn't understand.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of learning to do.
And he will. I think he will learn. But it's just it'll take a veteran whooping his ass, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I think I was literally thinking about that the other day, and I was thinking about the people that, because I do think Ty Gibbs, I do think he's going to end up fighting with someone this year. And I was thinking about who it would be, and I was like, man, I could see it being like a Blaney or something like really piss off someone that you wouldn't expect, and then just fucking Blaney just straight man on his ass, bro.
I'm really afraid he pisses off Kyle Busch. And
oh my god, yeah, that'd be horrible.
I thought he almost did it Pocono last year.
He's gonna Vegas him real quick.
You're right though. Takes his anger out on him.
Busch versus Logano,
and then kills him. No,
it's a little dark.
Ends his career with a rear end collision to the wall.
I feel like you could say the same thing for Noah Gragson though in his aggression. Yeah. Like I feel like they're both two young kids that don't totally understand everything quite yet. Because Road America, it probably didn't seem too dangerous, but you saw some of the collisions that Gragson caused when he wrecked the stage car. I think 45 car or 42, and it was a smoke screen, and a couple guys took some massive hits.
Oh,
if
yeah.
that was a next gen
A
car,
lot of people did, really.
Somebody could get hurt.
Not only that, but even like the Coda Rain race. Some of the wrecks that we had with that,
Yeah.
oh my god! Like, I mean, which the Truex Custer one, Truex might not be racing if that was next gen.
Yeah. Truex is the one that got hit in the back, right?
By Custer.
Yeah. Yep.
No. Truex hit him in the back.
No, Custer hit Truex. Truex hit someone else. Custer hit Truex.
Yeah, I think Custer climbed him.
Yeah. Well, talking about
Or
Custer, how do y'all feel about Custer's demotion with Priest taking over the 41?
Deserved.
Yeah, I think it's deserved.
I agree.
But I think he could. He's gonna be really freaking good in Xfinity. Like he's gonna have. Honestly, I think 8 or 9 wins. I think he's gonna kill it. He's going back to his double zero car.
Honestly, I agree. Like I do agree. Priest is well deserved. You know, it's time for him. Oh,
bless you.
Thank you. It's well deserved for him, but I do agree. I think Custer is going to do really well again in Xfinity. I don't see 9 wins. I'm thinking more like 5, but I think he's going to run really good overall.
Who else is really in Xfinity to really compete? I mean, I know you got Justin Allgaier.
Actually, I was just looking. Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry. You got John Hunter coming up now.
John Hunter, yeah.
Sammy Smith.
There's a bunch of others. Sammy Smith as well.
Chandler Smith.
You still got Brandon Jones going to JRN equipment now.
But you really don't have those certified hard hitters like
Austin
you've had
Hill.
in the past, like Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe and all that.
Correct, but I do think it's still a really close knit field.
One driver that I'm actually looking forward to is Parker Kligerman getting a full-time ride with the Big Machine Racing, the 48 car, because they're tied with RCR.
Yeah. And that's the same team that Reddick won, Vegas last season?
Texas, yeah.
Or
Texas, one of the two.
Was it Texas?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Maybe you could be right. I don't know. One of them,
but that's nuts. Like I think, because Parker Kligerman,
he deserves it, man.
And honestly, he has skill.
He does. He's very talented.
You can see it. It's just he's never had the opportunity to show it off in pretty decent equipment. I think that's what he's in. Pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I think
around 12th place.
Yeah, and I think his talent can make it top 8. I think he's a player.
I agree. Especially all the times we're able to get a long run, especially for stage 3 type situations, and definitely road courses. But I think he could be a pretty good contender, honestly.
Remember when he took like the 96 or something all the way to the top 10 at Kansas in the Cup Series? That's crazy.
That
and it was Texas, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thanks, Stat Boy. That's why I love you.
Got the stats. Pull up the receipts.
Talking about Noah Gragson, obviously we haven't really discussed that, but he's going to the 42 for Petty GMS. But there's also other news with that. During the offseason, Jimmy Johnson said that he was going to quit IndyCar racing full time, and he had other plans to do. Those other plans were to acquire a team, and so he decided to put part ownership with Petty GMS. Now it's called the Legacy Motor Club, and he is also going to race 5 races, including to qualify for the Daytona 500.
I feel like this is a quietly big thing for NASCAR.
Yeah,
because you see one of your best drivers ever leave and go to IndyCar, and he was there 2 seasons racing a part-time schedule, and quit and went and puts his own money into a team to come back into NASCAR. That's huge. You have probably the biggest name in the last 2 decades to race for your company, for NASCAR, and he's shown that he still loves the sport and comes back and invested his own money. I think that's huge for NASCAR.
I completely agree. It's huge for NASCAR, and I'm a little surprised that it isn't bigger. Like you mentioned, it has been a little quiet, which I'm shocked about. You got the 7-time king and the new 7-time champ, and they're collabing now with GMS backing, which has proved to be, somewhat decent equipment. We know they got the money behind them. I think it could be big for not only NASCAR but the team itself. I think we could see big things coming out of that team. And not only that, but we got Johnson, the experience and the knowledge that he can bring just by even filling in for them 5 races. He's going to be able to tell them a lot of things about them cars, good and bad.
Yeah. I, as a Jimmy Johnson lover myself, I think this is, in my opinion, exactly what Richard Petty needs for his team to continue, in a state of competitiveness.
Right. His legacy.
We're not gonna lie, he's getting old. Okay. He does not know the ropes. He does not understand the business model. He does not. He's gonna. I mean, literally, he was still making deals with a handshake, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think.
He was making deals with a handshake?
Yeah, he was making deals with handshakes. Taco, we'll get back to that question here in a second. We'll just
leave him alone.
But, with Jimmy Johnson's knowledge of how business runs, seeing Jeff Gordon help, Hendrick and doing a lot of the business model things, and plus what Chad Knaus, all the knowledge Chad Knaus gave him as a, engineer / crew chief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think, when you have Dave Ellens and what's the other guy's name? Luke Lambert. Is that who's going with the
I think so. Isn't Todd Gilliland, or not Todd Gilliland, but Todd Gordon going over there as well?
Yes. Yeah, so he's going to be
that's
crew
big.
chief.
That's big.
So I think, in my opinion, Legacy Motorsports Club is going to be up there with the Trackhouse 2311 type thing.
I agree.
And then we could see, with the ties that Jimmy has, we could see, instead of them taking stuff from RCR, and in a sense of like their, that type of, engineers and mindset, we could switch over to a Hendrick
affiliate.
And I think you do that, a lot of things
could be big,
right?
Yeah, could be big. We could see, the King and Richard Petty, quote unquote, back in victory lane on a regular basis. But not only that, but even Jimmy, on the owner side of it as well. Because we know the drivers are talented, at least one of them anyway. So,
which honestly they all are. Eric Jones really never got his chance at Joe Gibbs. I think right when he got kicked out of his ride is the year
time he was gonna be coming.
Yeah. But when he went on the Dale Jr. download and talked about, he was grateful for that because he never realized how hard you actually had to work as a driver, because going through the ranks he never had to. He said the skill he just had it.
Right.
And so now that he actually had to work hard, he's a better driver because of it. And honestly, I agree.
Right. I agree with that, and I can see that.
We got some, of course, since Noah Gregson, moves to the 42, who Ty Dillon was in the 42, he now moves to the 77 for Spire Motorsports. Is that what it's called? Motorsports?
I think
Spire Motorsports. Yeah.
Okay.
Spire
I didn't know it was
Motorsports.
Motorsports or racing. I don't ever. They're always in the back. I don't know. And then, of course, Josh Bilicki, who was in the 77 for most of the races, is now moving to the 78 for BJ McLeod. That'll be Josh Bilicki is funny. If you ever follow him on Twitter, he's a cool guy. But
he's a good road racer.
I think maybe he can give him some help instead of being a second off the pace. So
right. Hopefully, maybe. And then I think the only other driver news is we got Riley Herbst doing the all super speedway races in the 15 car. I don't expect too much out of that, but
I will say.
Well, I think it's also sorry, Dylan, but it's backed up by that car's gonna be backed up by Stuart Haas.
I know, but I still don't expect. I still don't expect anything out of it. Though.
No, I loved it. I love that you had the knowledge of what I was about to say, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, I remember Priest ran a few races last year. I think he ran the Cook 600 and ran Dover. I think
I think one or two
one of the
more.
races he really struggled at.
Uh,
I know, but I think he had a messed up race car, but they were up low teens. I think like 18th or around there, and that's that. Not
Was it?
again, obviously
Did
it's
he run
mostly a
dirt
dirt
Bristol?
car, just help from Stuart
He-
Haas.
fun
He
fact:
might have.
he ran the Clash in the 15 car and made it to the final round. So
Okay, I don't know that.
Well, talking about the Clash, what are y'all's thoughts on that? I mean, would y'all ever want to see like a location change?
Nah, I think not yet. I think you gotta give it a couple of years.
Right, right.
Yeah, I agree. Give it a couple of years.
Yeah, I can see that. I like it honestly. I think the first race was a little on the boring side, but I think we have potential, and I think they probably, I don't know. Hopefully, they change the track a little bit, maybe make it drive a little bit different. Plus, being in the nighttime, I think will help. But how do y'all think that race is going to be?
uh,
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be exciting. I didn't watch it last year.
Really?
No, I think I had work or something like that, but I didn't watch it last year. But it's a they didn't know how to drive the cars really yet. You know, it's their first time with a whole bunch of other people, so they're probably a little bit safer than they were. I know there's still some contact and all that, but I think Donald's going to put on a pretty good show this year because they know how to drives and it's a short track. Anything can happen.
Right, right.
Mhm.
uh, I I'm not the biggest fan of the Clash and the Coliseum. Honestly, I hate. Honestly, I hate that it's not a Daytona, personally.
Do that.
But that's just because I really enjoyed as a kid the Sunday before
The
the
Clash.
Daytona 500. The Saturday night before.
The Saturday before, yeah.
It was the Budweiser shootout, and then the Sunday you watch qualifying. Like
Yep.
that was my growing up, and that's what got me excited for the Daytona 500.
No, yeah, I agree. And I was in the same boat. You know, you'd watch the Clash, and then you'd watch qualifying. Then Thursday, you'd watch the duels. Then, of course, Trucks, Xfinity. You know, it was just a whole freaking. And of course, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they were practicing.
Yeah,
At least someone was. So I mean, there was stuff to watch the whole freaking week. So I get that. It has been really weird with it being gone, but I'm not opposed to it. I just think we need to find the right thing.
It.
good.
Sorry. I think it also takes away a little bit because isn't it? It's stretched out a week more now, isn't it? The Clash
Like
compared
a
to the
week and a
Daytona
half, 2
500.
weeks.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It's because you got the Clash this Sunday, then you got nothing this whole week. I think until next Sunday, which is qualifying, set up the duels for Thursday night. Like I think it's too long of a pause.
It's
I
a
like
weird
it like
gap,
the week
yeah.
before. Yeah,
Right.
Well-
I agree with that too
Well, Fox did that on purpose.
because of the Super Bowl.
Well, so their goal was to promote the Super Bowl with the Clash, okay, and then the Super Bowl promote the Daytona 500. So both sports are promoting their biggest event, and Fox, that was very smart of them personally.
Yeah.
But I do think that you're losing the whole point of the Clash to begin with, just because you're allowing all 40 drivers to be able to try to race in it, right?
Right.
It should be just pole winners, and it should be pole winners and previous champions of the last 10 years. I think that should be it. No,
Yeah.
no,
I agree.
I don't care.
Just
down
like the
two
way it
cars.
used to be.
It doesn't matter. Like that. Should
I agree. I think it should be the way it used to be, which was what the pole winners and then previous Clash winners, and then what I think champions and then Daytona winners, something like that. I think that's the way it should be.
There should be no more than 18 cars on that track.
I agree. I don't understand with them extending the field. It doesn't make it seem like it's an exclusive event if everybody's out there running.
Even though they're trying to make it feels like they're trying to make it a bigger deal than making it less big of a deal now.
Right, and of course, you put more cars out there, more traffic, more time for carnage, more time for excitement. So I get it. I mean, they're once again trying to create excitement, I think, by adding these cars. But I agree, Dylan. It shouldn't be nothing more than like 18, maybe 20 cars if you got a couple extra pole winners. Because back in the day, it used to be more exclusive. You know, you had to be fast. It was all the fast people from last year is what it was. You know.
Yeah.
So
Mostly if you go into an event like the Coliseum, it's not a big track. You know, I know that all 40 on at the same time, but all the infield's not huge for all the cars and all that.
right. Yeah, that's a good point as well.
We still got a couple more things to discuss on news heading into this year. We're going to still give a lot of news so next week we're going to give news setting up for the 2023 season, things that have changed for competition aspect. So please join us next week as well. But there's two big opportunities to discuss after the ending of the 2023 season. For one, Denny Hamlin and FedEx. FedEx, their contract is up at the 2023 season. Does that mean that they leave? No, nothing's been said. But one thing that FedEx has said is that they want to cut $2 billion of their revenue out of their business. But $2 billion is not what you pay on a race team.
Right.
A percentage
$2 billion.
Yeah, they want to cut $2 billion of their.
I thought it was 200 mil, but that's cool.
Is it 200 mil? I heard $2 billion.
Let's see. It might be. You might be right. I'm gonna
but
go.
if that's the case, you need to cut more than just a race. You're like promoting your who you are isn't gonna cut the $2 billion.
Right.
You need to figure out how to fix your organization.
Right. Like you have some financial issues as a company.
You need to cut back on trucks.
Get a new accountant.
Stop sponsoring people.
Stop sponsoring people will not fix your issue. Honestly, that will hurt your issue.
Do you think?
Yeah.
How?
Well, for one, I mean,
it was billion. You're right.
Okay, cool. I think
it's so smart.
Thanks. If you sponsor a race team, for one, if let's say you sponsor Denny Hamlin gets 23 or gets FedEx for, I don't know, 33 races. I think it's something stupid.
Yeah,
a lot.
Well, that is a
third of the races.
That is a total of like only max, 25 million, right? Okay, so that is not even a percent. That's literally 2% of the $2 billion that you need to cut. That is not going to help you. That's not going to fix your issues. It's only going to you promoting your business is going to help your revenue, right? It doesn't.
Assuming that the promotion is getting through, though. You know, if Denny Hamlin never wins a championship, I mean, what are you really promoting?
I mean,
that FedEx is slow as shit.
48
FedEx is slow as shit.
48 wins. I mean, you're still getting promotion, right? Like
I know.
Like I don't know. My only concern is, yes, if we lose another big sponsor like this, which the whole TV deal and the contracts and that'll go in next week. But I think FedEx should just cut back races. If I'm FedEx, if I'm FedEx, I go, hey, let me do 20 races. Let's not do 33. Okay.
Right.
I don't think FedEx leaves a sport. I do think that they eliminate some things, just because. I mean, why would you want to sponsor someone who runs for? Okay, here's some. If your TV show is on Fox Sports 1, okay, FS1 or whatever it is, okay, you say I'm not doing those races because guess what? Only 2 million people are going to watch me. They're going to look at me. Okay, so if they're smart, they look at that and see, hey, what TV? Where am I going to be shown the most?
Right.
And I'm gonna get sponsored on those races. I think that's the the idea that they should have. But I don't work for FedEx. I don't have.
I mean, that's valid. Yeah, I can see that though.
But do you think FedEx leaves the sport or what's your thoughts?
I don't know. I haven't heard too much about it, but with what it seems like most sponsors are doing, I could see them leaving the sport.
Yeah, I could see him leaving.
And then Denny who goes to 2311.
Yeah, and get sponsored by Monster, so like we could have another four different vehicles sponsored by Monster.
There we go.
Hard to pick everyone out.
Celsius is coming.
Celsius?
They can't pay their spokesperson though, so.
But this last topic, I really want of news. I really want Mitch. I want you to promote this one, and talk about it, and then let me know when you're done.
We might be here for
what topic?
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Oh,
oh my gosh!
I didn't know we were doing that tonight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Kevin is retiring, obviously, at the end of the 2023 season. It's time, sadly. He's been in the sport since 2021. He's got a lot of wins, a lot of championships throughout all the different series throughout NASCAR. He'll definitely be the champion. Well, he is a champion, but he'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame, once is retired. What do y'all think about
it? I mean, cool, whatever. We lose an older driver, just bring younger ones in. I don't care for Kevin like that.
Sheesh. Damon.
Mainly because of the 2011 Coke 600, but
bro, I mean, like maybe if he saved gas, like he would have gotten there first. I don't know what to tell you.
Rigged.
No, if it was rigged, he would have won.
Well, it's for me. It's definitely be a little somber. He's my favorite driver since I can remember. So definitely seeing him go, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a little bit. And I think he said I think mostly he's retiring for family reasons, which is probably like I'd say 85% of it. But also I think he's tired of NASCAR's crap. Like that they're honestly they're known at this point for not listening to drivers. They just left Tony Stewart basically on red when he wanted to, I think, do the Clash or he wanted to do the Daytona Road Course.
Just talking about that.
Left him on red, and I think Harvick's had enough. Not having the safety issues, not really 100% handled.
Yeah, I completely agree with that as well. Especially with how we see more drivers going to do SRX even this season. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of NASCAR people doing it this year. I'm a little surprised.
And Keelan racing too.
Yeah, that as well, of course. He's wanted to be a part of Keelan's career and what he's doing. I think Keelan's about to start heading up into the late models pretty soon. So I think that's a big step. But
also he could still stay around the sport. He could probably he's a great analyst, I think.
I agree. And that's also kind of been a rumor as well that he's going to be going to the Fox booth. Nothing's been confirmed or not yet, but that has been a pretty strong rumor. But also, it's been another rumor that he's going to go to Trackhouse and do some management style stuff over there because Trackhouse sponsors Keelan as well already, mm-hmm. which could be another little tie, maybe trying to pull Keelan to Trackhouse long term. I don't know. There's a bunch going on there.
Kevin pull with Jimmy in the 91 car.
Maybe.
Try to keep him away from F1.
He ain't going F1.
I don't know. He's big on open wheel. I do think he does dip his foot in NASCAR, but I think eventually his dream is to race an F1 vehicle.
Do you really think so though? Because he's already started in Bandoleros now, and I know he's going to be starting late model soon.
Well, Kevin said on Stacking Pennies with Corey LaJoy, the one thing he said was, like he wants him to race as many different types of vehicles as possible before he gets to NASCAR. He said because, or before he chooses his route. He said because no matter how many different vehicles you drive, the skill will continue
to build,
grow. Because you're gonna be like, oh, when you're like 20 years old driving whatever race car it is, oh, this drove like this at this track. So guess what? I'm gonna use this skill that the rest of the field don't have, right? And I think that's the importance of what Kevin's doing in the sense of putting him in Europe and lay him race in Europe versus the United States. I think that's really cool, personally. I want to say some stats on Kevin Harvick's career here.
Oh, I have a lot as well.
790 starts in the Cup Series, 60 wins, 245 top fives, 430 top tens. The poles, he has 31. He has laps led. He has 15,901. I think he definitely reaches the 16,000 this year. The craziest stat of all, out of his every year he's been in the Cup Series, his average finish for those 790 starts is a 12.7. To me, that is compared, that it's up there, right?
Yeah.
Like that is
especially for that I want to that big of a stretch of time.
Because for one, that wasn't just with one team. That wasn't with just one competitive team. That was with a quote unquote dying RCR. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is with a new Stewart-Haas racing team. Okay. And then now a dying Stewart-Haas racing team. In my opinion, from what I've seen.
No, I'm right there with the green. I don't want to believe it, but I agree.
I mean, the only thing keeping them alive probably is Kevin at the moment, and then maybe Briscoe.
Briscoe's starting to come on a little bit now, but I think Priest can bring it back. I think Priest can be really good.
He's a racer. I mean, we'll see what he's got.
There's some other stats I want to put off here as well. His Truck Series stats. He has 124 starts, 14 wins, 48 top fives, 62 top tens. His average finish is a 12.6 as well. Do you see where this is going? His Xfinity stats. Insane. This is where it gets.
Oh, his Xfinity are insane. Yeah, they're extremely good.
Starts, 47 wins, 186 top fives, 261 top tens. And his average finish is at 8.4.
Wow.
2 championships.
And 4 top 5 in the points. Yep. That's insane. That to me that is incredible. But I just want to give Kevin Harvick props. He is a driver that people do not appreciate because of maybe. I honestly don't know why they don't appreciate him. Maybe because of what driver you like. He may ruffle feathers or whatever that is.
And I think it also comes with a little bit of how he was brought into the Cup Series. I feel like some people might be salty, like, oh, he can't replace Dale, and then they've just been stuck on that mindset as well. It's gonna suck, It's a whole end of an era for, at least me, probably you as well, and a lot of other people. For me, I kind of really started watching NASCAR around like 02, 03. So he's the last one, and that's just, it's insane. I'm going to start a whole new generation of NASCAR. A couple extra other stats on Kevin. He has 4 NASCAR Southwest Series wins. He also has 7 K&N Pro Series wins with 1 championship as well.
Hall of Famer without a doubt.
Oh, no doubt. First ballot, 100%. I think that is going to probably bring this episode to a close, though.
No.
No?
No, we got picks.
Oh, Picks. Holy
Picks.
moly! I just saw the time and I'm like, oh, we're an hour in. So all right, picks. All right, yeah. What are we doing? Just winner picks for the Clash?
No, we do suck picks.
Suck picks as well.
There's such thing as underdog for expedition rate, or well, we don't call it underdog. We call it who needs a good run.
Yeah, who needs a good run?
No one needs a good run. They just need a win.
So,
yeah.
I guess you did not do that. I guess
I didn't do a suck pick, but I got a win pick.
Cool.
I'll start off with a win pick, I guess. I got William.
Suck pick. Sure, suck pick.
I don't have a suck pick, so someone else go first.
I don't either yet.
All right.
Logano.
Really? You think he's gonna suck?
Our defending champion and winner of this race. That's nuts.
Why?
Just because it's Joe Logano. I don't know.
Cody's suck pick is Cindric in the chat.
Okay.
Cindric, okay.
Yeah, my suck pick is gonna pay me to say this, but I think it's gonna be Harvick. I don't see him doing very good there. I don't think he was very good last year in the Clash. I don't think it's this type of racetrack. It's kind of like Martinsville with tight corners, but obviously way smaller. I don't think it's gonna be very good.
I mean, I don't disagree with you there. For the suck pick, I'm gonna go KFB. I think he's got a lot of learning to do with a new team, so at least I'll take him a minute.
All right, my suck pick is going to be Chase Elliott. I think Chase is going to struggle.
Wow.
I hate it.
I feel the pain, Dylan. Yeah. I picked my driver too.
I hope he surprises me, but I think he just sucked. Even though short track racing is his thing, I just don't know why. Yeah. And for your one pick, who you got, DCT?
Martin Truex Jr.
Holy
really?
Cow.
Wow.
Got a lot of anger built up. Maybe, who knows?
On the first race of the season? Well, he did just end his relationship, so you're right. He's got a lot of anger built up.
Yeah.
Sheesh. All right.
Plus 2,500, by the way.
Plus, oh wow, that's a. Is it
I also
really
do
plus 4,000?
Let me look.
5.
Probably.
You go ahead with your one pick.
I'm going with William Byron.
Wow. Why?
I don't know. I mean, we've seen him run pretty good, Martinsville in the past. I just think it's about time for him to kind of start coming through as a driver. I think we're going to see him run up front a lot, honestly, this season.
I want to point out before I say my pick, I did see that the purse is $2 million for the winner. So that's also something to keep
Truex, by the way.
Keep a little eye on.
Okay.
But my pick to win is Christopher Bell. I feel like it's this type of racetrack. I don't know, like short, tough track, just tough tracks. I feel like this type of racetrack. So I think we'll get it done.
Right. How do you guys think the night race is going to affect it?
I think we're actually going to see less passes because of it.
Oh, that's hopeful because we saw no passes last time.
I think the car's going to be too gripped up in a sense.
I do agree, though.
I think the only passes we saw because they just didn't know how to handle the race car. But Cody says his one pick is Reddick. And then Taco said his one pick is Suarez.
Suarez, really? I almost picked him as my suck pick, but then I said, "Nah, we already know that."
That's aggressive.
Taco's gonna be fighting you.
But my one pick led the most laps last year.
KFB, or no, Reddick. That's Reddick.
It's KFB.
KFB. Okay.
I think he's got a lot to prove.
I agree, though.
I think this track is gonna make you move people because you can't pass, and I think that he is going to do whatever it takes just because he has a lot to prove.
I mean, he finished.
You really think he moves people out of the way, though?
Hell yeah!
I don't know. I mean, I agree. I agree. He has a lot to prove, but I think it's too early in the season. I think you don't know what he has in the car. You know.
You saw what people would do in the 2021 class, you know.
Yeah,
Blaney and Elliott, you know, getting frisky.
Yeah,
the road course. Yeah. I was a little surprised with that too. I mean, yeah, I agree, but what does that have to do with being a new driver with a new team?
I just think, you know, I don't really think that he's going to be as fast, right? Like I think that he's just going to be up there because
just up there and able to take advantage of it.
I just think he's just going to full send it, really.
See, what if like Ty Gibbs just goes up there and dominates? Because he seems to be really good at Martinsville.
There's no way the old people allow that.
The old people?
Yeah.
Could you imagine though?
No, for no freaking way.
But that is his type of race in a sense of
moving it is, yeah.
And
that's his first fight, guaranteed.
Yeah.
First fight, first race of the season.
It's gonna be Kyle. Yeah, it's gonna be Kyle.
Yeah. The story is already written. Like I just.
Oh yeah.
Harvick Texas punch.
That'd be great. I would love that.
But yeah, we got all of our picks. We said all the news that we wanted to say. Is there any last things you want to talk about right before we send off here?
Take them.
I guess not. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad we're back. I'm stoked. I'm ready for season 3 of the podcast. I'm ready for the 2023 season of NASCAR in general. You know, I feel like it's going to be good. Second year with the next gen car with the more new improvements. Hopefully we continue to improve it. Hopefully Goodyear brings some good tires, man. Hopefully we get some good racing. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just pumped all around.
Yeah, I'm ready for the season. I hope it's jam packed with excitement. Hope cars a lot safer than last year. That's what I'm really hoping for. Don't want to see any drivers go down with injuries. This shouldn't be a contact sport, you know. So we want to see everybody the best every week. That's what I'm hoping. It's also great to be here. Appreciate you guys letting me be with you guys.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was literally just about to comment on that and say that. Yeah, I think you did great. I thought you were gonna be a little awkward at first, but you wanted it, and
you fit right in.
Thanks for coming on. Seriously, thanks for being on the panel. This is great.
I'm not gonna lie. I did have a 10-minute period, 15-minute period where I was lagging really bad. So I was guessing what you guys were saying. I don't know if you guys could see it. I'm sorry if I think I interrupted.
Yeah, I couldn't tell it on our side. So
I thought I interrupted Dylan really bad, but I was lagging 15 minutes. But besides that, man, this was a ton of fun. I love this. Love just talking NASCAR. Yeah, this is awesome. I can't wait for next week already.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to go back to one of Taco's questions in the chat. He said when we were
garage.
Talking, yeah. How about the Garage 56 car? What is your opinions on that? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Le Mans car.
Personally, I think it's great. I think it's good to see NASCAR being
attempting it
into another type of motorsport in a sense of putting their vehicle out there to try to gain information in a sense of innovation, technology, and things that we can use to provide better racing for our fans. But do I think it's going to give that right away? No. I think it's going to be a kind of a fail in a sense of not getting what NASCAR wants out of it. But I do think the car is going to be competitive.
I really don't see how it can be a fail. I see it in your eyes, but I see it. They can only be a win. You're gonna learn more. I feel like that's it. I don't know how they're going in expecting what's gonna happen, but you can only learn. You can't lose anything.
I mean, I agree with that and that outlook of it. You know, I mean, especially being new, you can only learn. But same thing with just the next gen car in general, on the NASCAR side of things. You know, obviously we can only learn and move forward, but I do kind of agree more on the side of Dylan. I think it will be a little bit of a fail. I think they're kind of almost in over their head a little bit for the first year, but I do think it'll provide good things. Isn't only Chevy allowed to see the testing though? like Chevy for the NASCAR side to see the testing for that car?
No. So, like, technically, no one can see the testing in a sense, besides the people that are working on the vehicle and NASCAR itself.
But I thought Hendrick was because
But
like they're
Hendrick, yes.
working on it.
But a lot of the engineers that's on the 56 garage isn't connected into the NASCAR side of things this year. They kind of pulled them and were out there. Like, yes,
their own type of engineers are right.
Jack and House is going to be the crew chief of it of the thing. But from what I gathered, they're taking all the engineers and paying them separately versus
right.
So. But does that mean that they're not going to share information with text? DCD, are you frozen?
Definitely.
He's frozen on it.
He definitely looks frozen. That's funny. I don't think he is though.
No, he's frozen, but we can hear him.
Dude.
Oh, there he is. There he is. There he goes.
Yeah, the frozen look that I just had on my screen, dude. That was bad.
That was. Dude, it looked like he saw somebody across the room or something.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, the way that he got up earlier, I swear to God, I almost lost it. Like, it. Do you know that that TikTok with it's like the wiggly people?
Yeah. I mean,
like that's what it looked like, but then like fading in and out with the background. I was like, what just happened? No, but I'm hyped to be back. I'm excited for the whole season. I'm excited to be back next week. Talk the recap at the Clash. See what the hell happened.
Like next week's gonna be a really good episode. So if you came in this week, you should definitely come next week. I mean, it's gonna be all the predictions we got, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be doing recap, a bunch of stuff.
I don't know what. I think we need to fix our episode 2 itinerary. But other than that, I do want to say we had a lot of viewership today. We had a total of 14 views. That is amazing. Wow. So thank you guys for that. Thank you for Taco, Andrew, and Cody for typing in the chat throughout the whole show. I appreciate that. I'm super excited to have Damon on board with us this year. It's gonna be
absolutely
great. We also have a new logo, as you saw in our thumbnail. A shout out to Tuck. He is going to be our graphics guy, making all of our thumbnails. He also made the logo that you see. So please check him out on YouTube as well. He's on Twitter. I put his stuff in the description down below whenever you check that out. Please continue to keep watching. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think this year we're going to see a lot of different opinions and a lot of debation. So I feel like it's going to be great. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you like it, and catch you next week.
Yeah.